Hello, and welcome to the Black Teacher Voice. I'm your host, Brittney Washington, and today we are here for episode 9. I'm telling you, every week I'm always so excited because it's like episode after episode after episode. But in reality, I've been so busy. So here we are, episode 9. How's your school culture? As I have transitioned to a new school, I've had the opportunity to be able to meet so many people, ask so many questions, figure out navigating around the school, and just getting to work. Everything has just been happening so fast in these last few weeks. So it's been really great to be able to be at a new school, but I get to do the part of learning this new school and learning all about their culture, how their school operates, how my colleagues operate, how different groups within the school operate and function. So it's been really interesting. Just get the first hand look and experience with that. So lately, I've been just setting up my classroom, and I got a head start, which was great. But being able to just get in there and set things up. Second grade is the year this year. So for me, second grade will be new. But coming from first grade for a few years, I think it'll be totally fine. I'll be cool. um, but when I'm thinking about like just all the things that I've been working on, I've been doing a lot and in the classroom and to prepare, and people have been just coming in, connecting with me, asking me different questions, getting to know me. I find myself getting into something and then somebody stops by and I'm like, all here for conversation. So it's been really great to be able to have people approach me and want to ask me questions and get to know me better, which is always different at every school that I've been at. I feel like it all depends on the school and how people are at the school, but, um, I've been at schools where people are reserved. They won't come and talk to me, or I'm the one that's always going to them or seeking out to ask questions, and so it's been really interesting on the flip side to have people just so interested and intrigued to be able to have conversations with me. So it's been great. It's been real great. I've been getting along, getting everything going long and strong with all the things that I've been putting my energy into to help prepare for the school year. School for me starts this Wednesday, which I'm so excited about. I had the opportunity to meet some of my kiddos and some of my families this Thursday and Friday, which it was just an amazing experience to get to see them before the actual school day, to be able to make those connections and build a smaller relationship before actually coming to school always helps set up the foundation for to lessen that anxiety and to let kids see a part of who you are and for them to get to see the classroom and the space that they're going to be in. So it was really great. All in all, very great. Super excited. Um, and it's so funny because this long weekend has come and gone, and now I'm like back to going to get things ready and with one more day before Wednesday. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Classroom is turning out so good. It's so nice and bright and exciting and fun, just like my spirit, my happy self. And it is what makes me happy. So I always try to provide a space that students will feel like it can make them happy and excited for learning and to be able to explore different materials and ask questions and get to know others and build those relationships that will last going outside of school, and continuing on their journey of their for their education. So that's my update on where I'm at with school. But thinking about the school culture, some things that I am noticing, um, that I think all schools should have within their school camaraderie or school culture. It's just this like positivity and this idea that we are all growing together and it is a process. And it doesn't happen overnight. There's a progression of growth, and change that comes with growth, and so I think that that's just very important, that schools should be able to have that. Not just, like, having a whole bunch of, like, negativity floating around, and I know that every school is so different, but no school is perfect, and, I mean, this is my 4th school that I've been at, and I feel like I've had, experiences where there have been ups and downs. You just never know until you actually get into a school, and then what my experience may not be what somebody else's experience is. And so that's another, like, thing to think about as you're going to a new school or transitioning from one school to another, to think about this idea of you wanna be in a positive atmosphere where people are encouraging and empowering and making you feel like you are a part of the conversation and that everyone is making room for each other. And I think that is a big key thing of having that growth mindset within a school community, is to know that we have to make space for each other. I actually was just reading a book just recently that I'm thinking about reading with the kids, Intersection Allies, and their main focus is making room for one another. And that's just like coming to my mind right now, as I'm sitting here sharing this with you, this idea that we have to do that in order to make sure that we are providing opportunities for people to be themselves, for people to bring what they have strengths, their greatest strengths in, and to bring that to the table, to have areas of growth that we are continuing to work on and to develop the skill set to be better for our students. And that is something that is definitely key. Another thing that I think schools should have when we're thinking about culture is this, like, idea of having teachers that are genuinely happy. I've been in a lot of spaces where teachers are not happy. They are going through it. Is something going on? And that definitely rubs off onto others within the school community. I mean, if you allow it to. Making sure you don't, if that's happening at your school. But that's something where I think it's important to have people that are happy. And that goes for your teachers, your staff, your faculty, your families, your students. Like, having people around you in a community that are genuinely happy and love the space that they're in, and bringing that positivity with them, and really focusing on this idea of growth, because we are all learning and growing together. And that is how our communities within the community are shaping how our school culture is navigated for everyone's experience. So, thinking about that, I know I'm usually pretty happy and pretty excited, but I have my moments, and I think we all have our moments, and that's totally okay. But to make it a part of your school's mission to be able to bring upon this idea of having optimism and being and being optimistic about future goals of the school, future goals for teachers, future goals for students, and what that looks like. Collaboration definitely is key. I've also too been in spaces where collaboration was kind of a thing that people would always say, "Oh yeah, we're collaborating, we're collaborating." But in reality, it didn't feel like a collaboration. It felt like individualism happening, everybody doing their part and then bringing something together. But I think when you have that opportunity to be able to collaborate and really share those ideas and put them together, and then to see those actions be carried out, are just so critical when you are working with so many different educators who all have different strengths. And to be able to have that care for one another, and to be able to share your ideas and feel like, okay, I know my ideas are being heard, is so important. And it makes me feel very good when I'm in a space where I know that I can depend on and really partnership with my colleagues on my team, other colleagues that are not on my team, administration, also with families and their students, and being able to share that partnership and really work together on different strategies or tools or whatever the case is, whatever we need to be able to feel that success and feel that growth and to experience that all together. I think is really just what makes a school community continue to thrive, being able to work together with one another and thinking about the idea of making room for each other, making room for people's ideas, and to be able to put it in a collaborative environment. And it's something that we always encourage our students to do, but we also want to make sure that we are doing that for ourselves as educators too. And not having the hesitation of, I don't know how this idea will come across or if people will be accepting of my ideas, but just really being able to have a space where you can put your ideas out there for people to hear and listen and to push you and to challenge your thinking and to be able to do all of those things in a positive way where you really get a chance to dive into different topics and areas of interest. And when I was talking about caring about others, it's that care that you're caring for oneself, but then also caring about others around you, and really making that a part of your, I don't want to call it a mission, but your everyday just walk as an educator to be able to show this level of care. Um, your colleagues, students, to your admin, to people around you, because it goes a long way. And I know for me personally, it always makes me feel good to know and to feel like the people that I'm working with or working around genuinely care and they want to help and they want to support and they want to show you that it's a reciprocal thing that I'm caring for you and you're caring for me, and it makes for a good work environment, and I know a lot of people, strive to really be put into those predicaments where you have a good work environment, but for me, it's just one thing that always comes to mind is, like, how can I show others that I care? And in what ways? What does that look like? It may look different for a lot of people, and care being received may look different for a lot of people. But just knowing that that should be a big part of school culture, just having the care for others. Um, Something that I think listeners that I want you to reflect on or think about is like that idea that every school is not perfect. Every school will have its ups and downs. Every school will go through a lot of different shifts, navigation, have some things that are always going on or popping up or happening. But through it all, I think that important foundational piece is just knowing that a school is there that cares, that are willing to be able to make the necessary changes, and thinking about how their staff and faculty and teachers and students and families, how they can come together as a community to be able to create change, to be able to ask themselves, like, why are we continuing to do X? What can Y and Z look like? What can we do to um, have actionable things that we can do to be able to seek change, to be able to grow as a community, to be able to have just this inspiration of having a good school community. Um, and I know I always like to look at myself as someone who wants to be a part of change and that I try to be as much as possible, that I'm also doing it in a way where I'm listening and I'm observing and I'm taking everything in, but I'm also being able to have a opportunity to share my thoughts and my perspective and my story and my journey with others as well. So it's kind of like that balance that I really think schools should be able to seek and provide to their educators. to make sure that everybody has that opportunity. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with today's episode. Just this idea of knowing that your school culture is something that you should always look into. You should always have the consideration or the thought of, okay, like what is the school getting from me and what am I gaining from the school? And being able to have that perspective as you are looking potentially at other schools or as you are trying to make change within your school, just being able to ask yourself those questions and prompt yourself and prompt your thinking of, is my school a positive community? Are we having or experiencing just genuine collaboration and genuine connections and partnerships with others? Are teachers happy? Are students happy? Our admin happy? And are we showing others that we care? So I would say one word of reflection for this week is this idea of having values and thinking about what your school values, what you value as a person, what you can bring to your school community, and how you share those values with others to be able to have more of that collaboration and have more of that generosity and genuine just connections that you have with the people at your school. So reflect on that, your values. How do they play out in your school community? For those of you that are already in school, I hope that your school year is off to a great start. For little old me and other people that have not started yet, I hope that you have an amazing first day back to school. And as always, just keep letting your voice be heard, especially our Black educators. Let your voice be heard, amplify your voice in those spaces and continue to shine. And we'll see you for episode 10.